Andy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm really feeling good. I'm excited to talk to you as always.
Great.
I'm so thankful for you to be on Winter Jam. We've got so much. We got some country and we got some hard rock and a lot of worship. So you got to bring salsa picante.
That's right. That's right.
you got to. And I am so excited for Winter Jam. But your new album, Work in Progress. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this. Um, I saw someone describe it as a podcast mixtape, and
That's right.
that's really the greatest example of what it is. There's so many great stories and the podcast, and my favorite song is Till Death because it reminds me of like the Commodores, the Gap Band, like all that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's my favorite of your songs. But I love the different actual mixtape songs on there. And
Right.
then Will Smith coming in hot. Is that correct on TikTok? He used your
Yeah.
song. Isn't
That's right.
that is so cool?
Thank you.
And I loved, of course, you and Lecrae are really close. So watching you guys together is always an incredible thing. So I love the podcast with him. Like I had heard that he chose not to go on the Bieber tour, but to hear him talk about it was really nice to hear him, talk to you about it. And but you and Lecrae in the video, and the security guard that cracked me up. Watching you crack up, I cracked up, and then
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and then Lecrae cracking up over you cracking up made it even funnier.
That's right. That's right.
So this has to have been like a love work of love, like this whole process, right? Like it's a lot. It's there's a lot involved in this new album.
Yeah. Well, the work in progress project is really just kind of an experiment. Those were some leftover songs that never made it on other projects throughout the years. So it was a cool way to at least release some of that out into the world. You know, so that they don't just sit on my hard drive and die.
Yeah.
And making the podcast is probably not creating it was the hardest part, but like the editing and like just making sure all the video content, the rollout, that's the hardest part to stay on top of. So it is putting it out in the world and getting edited right and all that stuff. Yeah, but for the most part, it was pretty easy because a lot of the work was already done with those songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just had to kind of string it together and.
Yeah, it was finding a way to piece it together in an interesting way, so it's not just like here's a bunch of B-level songs. For me, but I was saying here's these songs. Here's why some of them sound unfinished or unmixed or why they never came out. And I think it was a cool story. I think it was something interesting for the people to hear my heart and understand the creative process, the thinking process behind a lot of these songs too.
And so is that the reason for the podcast, to just kind of give everybody behind the scenes?
That's right. And I think I have a lot to offer outside of music as well, like just in other things as a thought leader and podcasting and communication. So we just have been enjoying it, man. It was a good experiment for us. Dell, who is my co-host, also my manager, I think he's also a brilliant mind in the music industry and just a man of faith as well. So it was great to give him some exposure too as we shared that platform together and just kind of introduce people to our world. I feel like our world is a big underground. Like people just are discovering artists who are Christians, who make hip hop, all that stuff. And they don't, when they see one, they think it's an anomaly, but it's like, no, there's a whole bunch of us. There's a whole bunch of people who are creatives and entrepreneurs and business owners and rappers and singers and managers. Like there's a whole other world, and I want people to get more exposed to that, so that it can continue to grow.
It is very misunderstood, I will tell you that. That's
right.
It's judged first, and then they may finally listen. Yeah, may finally listen to it. And I think they're scared of it. I think they're afraid to put it out there to offend other listeners or something, but they don't understand that there's a whole lot of people. I'm a middle-aged mom, and I'm telling you, I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. And so at home, or like on my playlist of my own, like, there's so much of that in there because there is so many artists out there that play music like you. And so and I find them independent, labeled whatever. There's a ton of them, but
That's right.
I don't see them being or listen to them on the radio. I don't hear them, and I can't. I like worship and I like mainstream CCM, but for me it's got its place. But when I'm cleaning the house or something, and I got to jam, I got to jam or
Sure.
rock, I know where they are because I seek them out. But you have to do that. You have to either seek them out. I think they think at times like, Lecrae's the only hip hop artist in Christian music. I mean, I've heard people talk like that, like
Sure.
I know Lecrae or Toby Mac, like that's it. Like,
Right. Right. Right.
and it's not being played, and who's listening to that? The people we want to reach the most, young
That's right.
adults. I mean, a lot of young adults, that's their favorite thing is hip hop and rock. And a lot of people put those together, and that's a really good mixture too. I love hip
That's right.
hop and rock. I started with Aerosmith
That's right.
with Walk the Run DMC. That was incredible. um
Yeah.
so what do you, I mean, the podcast is like a behind the scenes, but why did you move to Atlanta? Curious.
Oh, there's a lot of reasons, really. One, the label is there, and there's studios here, and
Okay.
interns and producers I want to work with. So it's a new change for me on the creative front. I've needed to just reinvigorate my creative process because things started to get really stopped up with me. Because I would work on everything basically myself at the house,
Right.
and you know, you're 100 songs deep of ideas and no one else to pass them on to or help you finish them. And that's just kind of a rut that I started finding myself in. So I was like, you know what, I need to be around more creative community.
It,
So it's just really hard to do that in New York with space.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's very tight knit area. So having people over is just a difficult thing. It's not easy to get around. People got cars and stuff, so had to leave Manhattan. But we got down here. So one was creative community. Two was the airport. I can
Oh
get anywhere
yeah.
I need to get in the world, basically. International, one of the world's biggest and busiest international airports. Um, Three was real estate. My wife and I started looking into homes and wanted to buy up homes and do stuff like that. So we just put our second house under contract, and we're trying to create passive income for ourselves, and just turn rap money into like entrepreneur money, and continue to grow as people and business owners. And there's a lot of opportunity here to do that.
Yeah, and not only that, it's a huge filmmaking community,
That's
and
right.
the people, it's like the UN in Georgia. Like, you like run into every different country representative, like, and I love that. I love that it's just a melting pot of so many different influences. So I saw you going to the home improvement store and joking about the
Oh,
gangs. My
all the
goodness,
time.
you're so hilarious. And the Black
Oh,
Widows, that's obviously not something you're happy about in Atlanta.
that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of bugs, but there's also exterminators. So, yeah, I want to say one thing. I did see that you had the Kinjas on your page. Oh my gosh, I love the Kinjas. I've been a fan of theirs so long. They are ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah, they're great.
but I'm so excited again, you gotta bring the hot sauce, and I'm so excited for you to be on Winter Jam.
Thank you.
We will unfortunately see you in cold environments,
That's
uh,
right.
but you're gonna bring the heat, and it's gonna melt all the snow, right?
That's it.
Well, thank you. Oh, thank you so much for putting together work in progress, because I mean, I love it because I can go song to song and feel a different feeling, and then the podcasts are just extraordinary, and the videos for the podcast. I really hope everybody Googles your work in progress podcast. You know, the videos are really cool because you can actually see you guys interacting. And the new music video for Coming in Hot. That's incredible. And so I'm just so thankful for you being on the show, and welcome to Georgia.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you at one of
Be
Jen.
blessed, Andy.
All right. Thank
Bye.
you.